Hello friends. Today we will discuss about a kind of common sense of the people towards disability or a kind of social imagination towards disability. What a common man think when he imagine a disabled person, wheelchair, white stick, hearing or listening devices, or some kind of poorly advocated body. Such kind of social imagination we all think when we think about disability. A weakness, a kind of weak feeling, a kind of inability, we consider that's a kind of social imagination or a common sense of the people. So, what social imagination is a sociological phenomena when we link a personal condition towards a larger framework of the society. In the sense, if someone is a woman, then there can be a feminist ideology in a larger society. The same if one person is by identity, if she is a disabled, then there can be some kind of social theory for disability to advocate it for their rights for the human being their own existing. Such kind of theory can be in society. So let's discuss what kind of theory have been developed by the scholars for the disability. So first time the theory started by a very initial phenomena, medical theory of the disability, where disability is looked as a condition of biological inability, where inability occurs in biological cases because of the medical condition, because of the poorly organized pregnancy, or can be a medical or accidental phenomena where disability occurs, like accident or maybe can be natural disability, which comes since the beginning of the pregnancy. Such kind of medical emergency can lead disability. So this is how one theory is got in our academia. Then we move on, and Mike Oliver, like person who considered the greatest scholar for the disability, wrote a book, Understanding Disability, and make another theory, social model of disability. Such theory says society is the only reason for disability because society have not provided this kind of great environment so that disabled can be live as accessibility. Disabled can be live as a normal person. They also can get accessibility, availability of things. Like if a building has no lift, then one orthopedic person can't move on a stair. But that's not a problem of the person, but the kind of environment, the kind of society, that's a problematic because they have not given such kind of facility what they actually need at that time. If a person can't read by his or her eyes because of the visual impairment, then that's also a problem of society because they have not provided such kind of braille scripture to them. This is how we move on from the medical theory to social model, where society becomes the reason for the disability. Even if someone is naturally disabled by birth, then pregnancy can lead a problem of disability because of the poverty, because of the such kind of environment has not provided to that woman who is pregnant. Like such kind of facility is not provided. It's a poverty or can be unconscious thinking which leads to disability. So it's a kind of social phenomena where we see on daily basis. Then we move to the another theory developed in 1990s era, critical disability theory. Dan Goodley became the greatest scholar of it, and he wrote a book theorizing disability, disability and ableism. So he considered two phenomena: one is ableism, and second is disability. So ableism is the made for normal society where normal people live, so called normal. And those who are disabled they consider it abnormal and living in the disability. So that's kind of theory he has given. So what critical disability says new? They link disability not to the only society but to the culture, to the root of civilization, to the power, to the political. These are the phenomena linked to that kind of common sense, to social imagination of disability. This theory not only provoked our disability, but provoked our intersectionality or interdisciplinary idea to the disability, to a larger society, to consider not only disabled person but to other. Like women can be exploited through biological way just because their body is different to the normal person, normal male person. Such kind of activity from the body to the society is a gift of the disability theory, basically from the social model of theory. So critical disability enlarges that theory from power, from politics, because disabled are not and we are not represented in politics. We are in less number. So that kind of policy which government make is not sufficient to us, is not sufficient to the disabled community. Reservation is going on, but none of them are implemented in the democratic way. So representation in bureaucracy, or you can say in media houses, in in politics, or like uh, parliament or assembly, legislative assembly, they were not any sufficient representation, despite having a larger number. Like I think more than 6% person are disabled in India, or maybe can larger to them, but many of them have not such kind of identification of disability. Many categories are not included even. So this kind of politically without representation, without power, without electoral gain, this theory, critical disability theory, uh, denoted such kind of problem within the disability theory. Such kind of problem not only the politically but culturally rooted too. Like a person who is coming from the religious society can be her experience can be different to the that person who is coming from the Western society or individualistic society. So maybe religious person can face such problem like when society says you have done something sin in the previous birth, that's why you are disabled. So we hear these words on daily basis. कुछ पिछले जन्म में किया होगा खराब and that's why you are disabled. So that's a kind of phenomena we listen on daily basis and we even ignore. We could not find the way how to reciprocate to them. The reciprocity occurs in a form of equality, and equality is not found in the category. Even we don't consider disability as a kind of social category, not a social problem, not a social phenomenon. Such kind of problem critical disability theory put out in a larger framework. By analyzing this theory, medical theory, social model theory, or critical disability theory, what we make a kind of common sense. How now we imagine, how we make our social imagination to disabled person, to make them free to their own living standard, like to provide them assistive devices or to make society accessible to them. These are the way we can find to enlarge them in a common society. The kind of common sense we make like weakness, like powerless to them, it should be go out from the academia to the real society when person is living. So maybe in academia or in constitution, some kind of reservation are there. But in actual society, they are not even accepted as a common human. So recently, there are some kind of debate we have heard from a Supreme Court judgment where stray dogs are not allowed in the public institution. But many of them were fighting for the stray dog, fighting for animal right. So once I heard this moment, I thought if their disability is less dominated phenomena than a dog. So it's a kind of choice. It's a kind of choice or kind of common sense what people have made that animal right is more important than disability right. Thank you for watching this video.